everyone, welcome. Today we're going to be covering the most recent updates to Houzz Pro software that impact all of our interior design community.
So today we have lots of different updates we'll be going over. We'll start with updates to our CRM tool. We'll also cover some updates on communications as well as our online payments. And then we'll get into the 3D floor planner, a few updates we have there, as well as our project management features. So a little bit on selections and schedule and a few other things. And we'll wrap up with just an overview of the new Houzz Pro forum, which is a community forum that we've recently created. So let me start here. I will share my screen in 1 second. And I'm going to get into the updates to our CRM features. So let's look at some updates we've been making to our CRM feature. And this is really to make it easier for you to manage leads. So whether those are leads that you're getting from Houzz Pro or you're getting them from your website, Instagram, whatever other source, we make it really easy for you to keep everything in one spot within Houzz Pro and also to keep it organized. So you don't need to be tracking different spreadsheets or looking into, different sources. So we can start here when you're on this homepage. If you click on leads, when you click into leads here, you can get the whole view of all of the leads that you have in there. Just a quick reminder, if you do want to add any leads, you can do that here. So you can either create a new lead manually, you can import from a file. If you do have a file, you can import from email as well. Or for some of our pros on the custom plan, we do have a Zapier integration. So the first update here I'll show you is around creating custom lead views. So on this main page here, you can see all of your leads in one place with all the information you need to follow up, to convert them into projects, to really easily run your business. And then you can now customize this screen to better showcase the information that you need to see. So if you go into this, you'll see this gray line shows up. The first thing you can do is customize the size of the columns. So if you want some to be bigger, maybe there's a lot of copy in one of those lines and you can't read it all, you can just drag and drop really easily within these columns to make them wider or more narrow. You can also drag and drop the columns to reorganize. So if you're familiar with Excel or Google Sheets, we've basically just added a lot of that functionality. So if you click on the top of the column here, you'll see this little hand icon, and you could just reorder them to make it match whatever information is most important to you that you want to see front and center. Another way that you can organize these columns is if you click on this little icon here with the columns, you can click on these dots here and again, just drag, to change to whatever order that you would like. And from this view, you can also choose if you want to hide any of those columns. So right now, there's a lot of information you can track. Maybe some of that isn't relevant to you. Maybe you only want to know, for instance, the stage of the lead or the location or the client name. So you can just turn off any of these that you're not quite as interested in and then click Save. You can also, right now you'll see there's a scroll bar at the bottom and we have that lead name is pinned on the left. But if there are any other columns you want to pin as well, so they don't all sort of shift over when you do that scroll, you'll see this little thumbtack icon and you can click on it and it will pin that column. So then as you scroll, that column will also stay fixed. So anything that you really want to make sure is front and center, you can just pin those. You can pin multiple as well. And then once you've created that perfect lead view that really gives you all the information that you want to see, you can save that. So right now we have our main view. You can click this and we'll call it My New View. You can save it there. If you click the three dots, you can set it as your default, rename it, duplicate it, delete it. So lots of actions you can take. And you can add up to 12 different views here. So if you want to have another view, say, just click here. We'll call that, my second new view. Save it. And then as you come into your leads, you can choose, which view you want to be looking at to see which information is most helpful for you at the moment. Any questions there?
No, not so far.
Okay, great. So then the next update we have here is a really nice one, and that's the ability to schedule messages to send later. So if any of you are using Gmail or some of your other email clients, this is a functionality that they do allow. So this is great if, maybe you're doing work late at night, but you don't want to necessarily send a lead or a client that email really late at night. Or maybe you're planning to go on vacation, you just want to draft a bunch of your messages and then schedule it for when is the best time to send it. So if you go into here and you click into one of your leads, you can write your message here. Let's see, we'll just choose from one of our templates that says, yes, we're interested. There's no email address here, so I'll just add one. And then down here at the send, instead of clicking send, which would send it right away, you just click on this little arrow, and then you could schedule send. So let's say, we don't want to send it on Tuesday, we would rather send it on Friday afternoon. You just click in here, you can choose the date, the time, schedule send, and then you don't need to worry about it. You'll see here that that message is scheduled. And if you need to make any changes before that time, you can go in and edit the message or schedule it to send at a different time. So again, just adding a lot here to make it much easier to use CRM and add all the functionality that you would probably see in other tools that you're also using to communicate with clients and leads. Any questions, Abby?
No, but if anybody has any, feel free to drop them in the chat and we will answer them for you.
Okay, great. So continuing on this thread around communication, we've also added in the ability for you, as well as your teammates and clients, to comment on documents that you're sending. And this is for all client facing. So if you're sending a proposal, an invoice, a contract, for instance, you'll have the ability to add in a comment, say for a team member or for a client. And then once that document is shared with the client, either through email or through the client dashboard, they can also comment back to you. So let's go to an example here. We'll take a look at our contract. So again, for those of you who may not be familiar with the contract, we launched this relatively recently, just a few months ago, and this is part of our custom plan. So if you're using anything else right now to manage your contracts that you're sending out to clients or to leads, now you have the ability to manage that all within Houzz Pro. So you can see if we're in our Nelson Residence project, you just click here on contracts. And you can create a new one, either from scratch, you can upload an existing one, or we do give you a template to start from. So let's just, for this example, we'll use a template for our client Hannah there. We'll create it. So you can see this is created, but you can easily go through, add any updates. You can also add in smart text, so it will pull from other parts of your project the relevant information, such as the address, if you have a budget set, all of that will pull in here. But let's say we want to add a comment here. And we want to add this comment to someone on our team, and we just want them to review this. And we want to make sure that the payment schedule that I added into the contract is correct. So up here, you can see, you can choose to comment either to your client or to your team. So let's click team here. We'll put in our comment here. Please review the payment schedule, make sure it's updated, and then you could tag, let's say I'll tag Alexa, who I work with, and then submit it. So then this will be listed in your comments, and Alexa will also get a notification that she's been tagged here. And then say we're done with the contract, we've reviewed everything, and then we want to send a comment to our client as well. So after we share this document, we can just click up here on the client and say, hey, Melissa, we've outlined this. Take a look. Let us know if you want to review anything. Submit. And then your client as well will get a notification of those comments. So it's a really great way to work more collaboratively together, both with your team as well as your clients. And then if your client has a question there, she can easily just write back and identify exactly what part of the contract her question relates to, or maybe it's a comment on a proposal, what line item on the proposal. So you have a really easy way to track all of that feedback. Any questions?
Nope, you are good to keep going.
Okay, great. So then the next update here is also on the theme of communication and collaborating better with your team, and that is around our chat feature. So hopefully some of you have used our chat feature before, And previously, this was chat at the project level. So instead of communicating through text, or maybe you're using Slack or WhatsApp, we've added in we've added in chat at the project level. So you can, within each project, go here and say, hi, let's tag again our colleague Alexa. And you can send them any feedback you have. Maybe you want them to review a document. You can easily send the message, click on this plus sign and say, here's a proposal, please take a look. So we also recently have added a global chat. So instead of only being able to communicate at this individual project level, we've added the global chat where you can just speak to all of your team members at the general company level. So you just click here on this icon here, and it will pull up this panel with chat. So you'll see all the individual chats that you have going on specific projects. And then you can also add in a new chat here that's not tied to any projects, but let's say, hey, Alexa, can we meet at 1 o'clock tomorrow? Alexa will get that notification that she has a chat, and you can continue messaging here in addition to being able to message about specific projects. So if any of you are using Team Chat, we would love to hear. We also have a lot of updates planned for that throughout the rest of the year. Okay, any questions there, Abby?
No, not so far. If anybody has questions, feel free to drop those in the chat.
Okay, great. So then the last update here I will cover is a very recent update. It just launched in the beginning of June. And this is a partnership with Intuit Credit Karma to offer personal loans for homeowners. And so this is part of the Houzz Pro Financial Hub, where we are adding a lot of tools here that can help you increase your revenue, boost your profitability, and really simplify financial management all in one spot without needing to juggle multiple tools. And so, as I'm sure a lot of you know, we have online payments. That's one component of it. We also have capital loans that you can access either for your business or for your clients. And this is where this new partnership with Credit Karma fits in. And then we also have budgeting and tools to help you track profitability. So if you go into your Houzz Pro navigation, you'll see on the left here this financials item. So when you click in financials, this is a spot where you can access all your financial reports, your QuickBooks online dashboard for those of you who are connected with QuickBooks, as well as our online payment settings. And then down here, we have the section for client financing. So HELOC by Figure is another option that we launched back in February. So you can offer HELOC or home equity line of credits loans to your clients. And then this down here, personal loans by Intuit, is this newer partnership. And so if you click on the landing page here, it basically shows all the benefits. And the benefits really of making these available to your clients are that you can get clients to say yes faster. If money is not an object holding them back, they're much more likely to move ahead with the project faster. And it may also allow them to take on a bigger project than they may have otherwise if they needed to use the cash that they had on hand at the moment. And with this offering, there's nothing that you need to do. So there's no sign up needed on your end. There's no onboarding. It's all on your clients, basically, who apply for this. They get approved, they get the funding, and then they can use it to pay you for your projects. So these offers are already included on proposals or invoices that are being sent to clients. And you can see here this check mark box on the bottom. If you check it, it will include the personal loans as a payment option. If for whatever reason you don't want to include that as an offer, you just uncheck the box right here, and it will not be included on those documents. But we have seen that just offering your clients that option, they appreciate having it. I think especially right now with everything going on with the economy, we have seen a lot more interest in financing for home improvement projects. And if you're not quite sure, how to talk about this with your clients, we do have a one-pager basically. So you can click here to download and print. So you can take a look. It basically just highlights some of the benefits, how a client could use it for their project. You can share it with them if they have questions. And then if you have any questions as well, we do have more resources either within Houzz Pro or directly on the Intuit Credit Karma team to connect there. And one other benefit I would say, since we're partnering with Credit Karma, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. I think it's something like 40% of all adults have a Credit Karma account. And so if your client does have a Credit Karma account, they'll receive personalized offers that they can access very easily and quickly because all of their information is already on file. And for any clients without Credit Karma accounts, it's easy for them. They just enter a few pieces of information and then they can get their personalized loan details as well.
Awesome. We have one question. Do designers get a referral fee for the financing options?
Oh, that's a good question. No, not at the moment. But if you're interested in learning more, feel free to reach out. We could talk about also like what that may look like.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, Abby, I think that's it. That's it from my side.
Yeah, I will take over and show you guys a few more things.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me share my screen. Window. Okay. Can you see my screen okay, Katie?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so first is our default for your project tax rate. So we've added this functionality so that way you can set the tax rate from the project level, and then it will apply for all documents moving forward. So if you open a project and click the little settings wheel, the project details tab, up at the top in the middle, you're going to choose project settings. Then right here, you're going to choose a default tax rate. So now you'll be able to see any of the ones that you've populated in the past, that you've used in the past, or you can create a brand new one. So I'll put in my county's Fayette County, 7%. You can choose the agency. I guess it's state of Georgia, technically. That's a great question. I don't know. Then we're going to hit save. And now that's automatically saved onto my project. And so all documents that I create in the future are going to have that tax rate on here. So this is set as the default. I'm going to hit save, and it's going to be set across the entire project. That was a highly requested functionality. So I think that our designers will love that. Next up is our 3D library. So we've recently expanded some of the material and finish options. So I'm going to open this 3D floor plan, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So it's really going to be about like wall finishes and that sort of thing. So if we're looking at this 3D floor plan here, let's choose this wall. I don't like this gray. I want to change the material. So if you choose a material, you can now see that there's a lot of new options. So you can go to walls, interior, and there's a number of new options that you can choose from. So it's tiles, it's solid surfaces, it is wood details, that sort of thing. And we're continuing to build this library out, but let's say we want to change this wall to be some black stained wall slats. We can do that really quickly and then quickly visualize exactly what that's going to look like in our space. It's definitely limited, but there are a lot of new options, as you guys probably know. You can't upload your own quite yet, but there are a lot of new finish options that I think designers will really like. Moving on to project management, we're going to take a look at our selections tracker. Hopefully all of you guys are utilizing our selections tracker. There's a lot of power behind this thing. It's a one little feature out of all of our many features, but it's a real powerhouse. And one specific way that I find a lot of designers are using it is to share finish schedules or a construction set with contractors. And so something that we introduced recently is QR codes. So you're now able to export out the products from your selections tracker and automatically include a QR code. So when somebody has this PDF on site printed out, because we all know that contractors love that, right? They have this on site, they can quickly scan, pull up the product information, pull up the installation guides, the technical specs, all of those fun things. So whatever your view is on the tracker, maybe you filter to see only approved items. Maybe you only want to see plumbing, or you only want to see appliances. You can filter and organize it down to see just what you want to see. And then when you hit export, we're going to choose FF&E schedule. Down at the bottom, I'm going to make sure that product link QR code is turned on. So now when I hit download, it's going to pull all of all that information in. So when you clip to that product originally, it's automatically saving that URL, and that's what it's creating the QR code based off of. So if you add something in that doesn't have a QR code, it's not going to add a QR code for it. But let's say I want them to be able to access this Rubio Monocoat stain. This is a quick, easy scan so that they can view it and access the product details. Or let's say you send this to the cabinet shop. They need to know the exact dimensions, where everything's pulling through for this monogram appliance. They can quickly scan and have access to that information. And also, if it's something that doesn't have a QR code, you can see there's no QR codes. So it makes it really nice for people in the field on the job site to access the information that they need really quickly. Next is task activities. Do we have any questions about that before I move on, Katie?
No, you're good to keep going.
Cool. So in our tasks feature, we have recently added activities. So this is going to be super helpful for you to be able to know, maybe you have a big team and somebody wants to know who assigned me this, what's happened on this, this specific task, etc. We've introduced this activities functionality over here on the right. So if we click activities, anything that's happened on this specific task will be noted right here. So it's going to tell you somebody assigned it, somebody marked it as incomplete, took it, unmarked it as complete, that sort of thing, had a conversation on it, somebody viewed it. All of those details are going to be logged in right here on that activities tab. And then lastly is purchase orders for subs. So this was a feature that our contractors asked for a lot, but there's definitely value for designers as well. So let's say that you needed to send a purchase order to a subcontractor. You can now choose if you want it to be a vendor or a subcontractor, and it will automatically pull from your subcontractor list. So let's say that Imperial Edge Millworks is the one that I want to do this project. I can invite them to the project. I can also send this purchase order directly to them for all the details about the cabinetry. So it makes things a little bit more flexible. You are not just limited to sending POs to vendors. You can also send them to subcontractors. It's kind of like a work order if you've ever done a work order. So that makes things really nice. And then the last thing that I'm going to show you guys today is our new Houzz Pro forum. So if you go to forum.houzz.com, very simple, it's automatically going to be logged in based off of your Houzz Pro account. And this is going to be a new place for you guys to get involved, connect with other professionals who are also using the Houzz Pro platform, other designers, other contractors. Like, how are you doing this in-house? What's the most important lesson you learned in your first year of business? How are you handling pricing? All of those conversations that you might want to have with other designers or contractors, you can ask here. And then we're encouraging everyone to get involved here so that we build a community where you can share ideas, you can connect. Maybe you post and you get 10 new Instagram followers and you guys build a community that way. Like, there's all sorts of ways that you can use it, but it's organized by different features. You can also input any bugs or feedback about specific features here as well. And our team will personally review all of those. But it's really easy. You just hit new topic. You can choose what it's associated with. Maybe you want to talk about selections and you want to say, how are you sending finish schedules to contractors? You could say that and ask people how they're doing it. What details are you including? What fields are you including on the tracker? And then have that conversation with other designers, and then have that resource for you to go back to and read what other people are talking about and maybe learn something new. So definitely forum.houzz.com, definitely check it out, get involved, start having conversations in there, and we would love to see you there.
And feel free as always to reach out with any questions, feedback. We're always happy to talk to you.
Yes, thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Yes. Have a great day. Bye.